The first time I told Liam I didn't need him, I was lying through my teeth. The second time I told him, it was at my mother's funeral and he stayed anyway. It's strange how the people you try to push away are sometimes the ones who anchor you. Back then, we were just two broke college seniors in a small Ohio town, making a reckless arrangement. No labels, no promises, no future. He needed a place to crash while his roommate brought home a rotating cast of strangers. I needed someone to keep me from disappearing into the numbness I'd worn like armor since high school. Our temporary deal lasted 3 months before it imploded. Or maybe before I imploded. I told him I couldn't give him what he wanted. He told me I was afraid of wanting anything at all. And like the stubborn idiot I was, I let him walk away. That was 7 years ago. Now I'm 30, standing in a cramped hospital room in Cleveland, holding a swaddled newborn who smells like talcum powder and beginnings. The tiny girl's name is Emily, and she doesn't know that her mother-me best friend since childhood died less than an hour after bringing her into the world. She doesn't know that I promised her mom I'd raise her. She doesn't know that I'm terrified out of my mind. And she definitely doesn't know that the man standing in the doorway, watching me with that unreadable expression, is Liam. I hadn't seen him in 4 years. Not since a chance run-in at a bookstore in Chicago where we exchanged stiff smiles and pretended we were fine. He looked different now, broader shoulders, shorter hair, a quiet confidence I didn't remember. "Hey," he said, his voice lower, steadier. "Hey." I tried not to sound winded, like the air had just been stolen from my lungs. He stepped into the room slowly, eyes moving from me to the baby. "She's yours." "She's mine now," I said, my throat thick. "Her mom, Claire, shh." I trailed off, unable to finish. His face softened in the way I remembered, that rare gentleness that once made me feel like the world could stop spinning and I'd still be okay. "I'm sorry," he said. And then, after a long beat, "You look like you haven't slept in days." I wanted to tell him everything at once, that Claire had been sick for months but kept it from almost everyone, that I'd barely made it in time to see her alive, that I had no clue how to raise a child on my own. But the truth stuck in my throat. So I said nothing, just let Emily's tiny fingers wrap around my own. The first night was brutal. Emily cried until my ears rang, and every creak in the apartment reminded me that Claire's absence was now permanent. Around 2 a.m., I sat on the couch rocking her, fighting to keep my eyes open, when there was a knock at the door. It was Liam, holding a grocery bag. "I figured you didn't have formula," he said, stepping inside without waiting for permission. "Or coffee. Or anything edible." He was right, of course. He always had been infuriatingly good at knowing what I needed before I admitted it. We moved around each other in silence while Emily finally dozed off. "You don't have to do this," I said quietly. "I know," he replied, "but I want to." The days blurred. Emily's cries became the soundtrack of my life, interrupted only by the steady rhythm of Liam showing up sometimes with food, sometimes with diapers, sometimes with nothing but his presence. He never asked for more than I could give, never pushed. Still, I caught him looking at me sometimes like he was remembering the boy I'd been and trying to reconcile him with the man standing here now. One afternoon, Emily was asleep in her bassinet, and we sat across from each other at the kitchen table. "I meant it back then, you know," I said suddenly, "when I said I couldn't give you what you wanted." Liam studied me, then leaned back. "And what do you think I wanted?" I opened my mouth, but the words wouldn't come. Maybe because I'd been wrong. Maybe because all he'd really wanted was for me to let him in. 3 months in, Emily smiled for the first time. It was quick, barely there, but Liam was holding her when it happened. The look on his face, pure awe, was the kind of thing that makes you forget every bad day that came before it. That night, we sat together on the couch. Emily slept on my chest, her tiny breaths warm against my skin. Liam's arm brushed mine, and I didn't move away. "You've changed," he murmured. "So have you," I said. Silence stretched between us, comfortable for the first time in years. I realized then that maybe temporary had never been about an expiration date, it had been about fear. And fear, I was learning, could be unlearned. The day Emily turned 6 months old, I found myself standing at the same hospital where I'd first held her. This time it was for a checkup. Liam was beside me, balancing a diaper bag on his shoulder, making faces at her to keep her from fussing. I looked at the man I'd once sworn I couldn't keep, at the little girl who'd made me rewrite my entire life, and I felt something I hadn't in years. Peace. As we left, Liam reached for my hand. I let him take it. Still temporary? He asked, a small smile tugging at his lips. I shook my head. Not anymore. And just like that, the thing I'd been running from for years didn't feel like something to escape. Felt like home. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.